Ant-Man and the Wasp was a fun little adventure right up to that big post-credit scene, and we're about to fill you in on why it's all so important. What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here with your recap to the rescue, breaking down everything you might have missed in Ant-Man and the Wasp and what it all means for the next Avengers movie. But it does mean full spoilers ahead, and this is all an inevitable setup for the next Ant-Man movie.
There are definitely things in this movie that we've set in motion that, like, if we're fortunate enough to do another one, there's a lot to play with.
So let's take a look at how. It's all fueled by the events of 2015's Ant-Man, where Janet went subatomic and missing, Scott took on Hank's suit, and Hope wasn't allowed to be the Wasp. It was followed by Ant-Man going rogue in Civil War, breaking the Sokovia Accords laws, and making himself, Hank, and Hope criminals. So it starts with a flashback to 40 years ago when Hope last saw Janet.
It was a treat, and then when all of a sudden you say, wait a minute, Michelle Pfeiffer, and we're gonna be 40 years younger. She looks spectacular now. I do remember what she looked like 40 years ago.
With 3 days left on Scott's house arrest, Hank and Hope decide it's the right time to work with Scott and get into the quantum realm to save Janet. They're working out of a secret lab in a giant building that can shrink and disappear, and nobody really seems to notice. Hope is getting her quantum lab parts from Sonny Birch, who might be working for Justin Hammer, you know from Iron Man 2, but will most likely have his boss revealed in the next film if it comes along. Birch says quantum tech is the future because nanotech, a reference to Iron Man's latest suit, AI, a reference to Ultron, and cryptocurrency aren't as exciting since S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra went down. Long story short, the Wasp beats up all of Sonny's men in the kitchen until Ghost shows up doing some crazy phasing stuff.
It wasn't restricting. I would just do my thing. I would just have the freedom to go in the playground and play and you know, do my stunt, do the scene, and then the rest kind of comes later, which is incredible. Like to go and to actually sit down and watch it and go, oh wow.
The only thing the team can do now is turn to Hank's old S.H.I.E.L.D. colleague Bill Foster, aka Goliath in Marvel Comics, who worked on a project with Hank Pym by the same name which Tony Stark referenced in Iron Man 2 8 years ago.
Everything from projects Pegasus, Exodus, and Goliath.
Bill Foster's intro in that college classroom might have actually cracked the code for Avengers 4 because he says that disrupting a quantum atom can result in multiple parallel realities, which could be how Ant-Man factors into the heroes banding together against Thanos, or maybe how the X-Men join the MCU, but it's probably not that one. Scott has to go get Hank's old suit back real quick, but his current one malfunctions, creating one of the funniest moments, which was actually the most challenging to shoot.
It was the most complicated thing to shoot in the whole movie. We had to shoot, you know, separately, and then somehow there are technological things they have to do in that I don't understand. Things with lighting and angles and all sorts of stuff. So they would shoot Evangeline in the school, and then there was, another person dressed in all green. I was still there. I have to be in shot so that they could establish it. I don't know how it all worked. I just know it took forever.
Anyway, jump ahead a little bit and plot twist, Bill Foster is working with Ghost to try and heal her from the damage done by her father's project failing. Ava's father, by the way, was named Elias Starr, a character known to Marvel Comics fans as the villain Egghead. Janet takes over Scott's body, telling Hope and Hank that time works differently in the quantum realm, which could be important for Avengers 4, and they're ready to go save her, but Scott has to run home because he's going to be caught by the cops for leaving his house. Hank and Hope aren't as lucky, so Scott has to break them out of jail with a Mandarin House restaurant across the street. Probably just a coincidence, but don't forget that the Mandarin is the best-known Iron Man villain who has yet to really show up in the MCU. Iron Man 3 definitely didn't count.
This is the Mandarin?
I know, it's embarrassing.
Cassie Lang really wants to be Scott's partner, and it's more than just adorable. It's actually laid out in Marvel Comics and could very well happen in Avengers 4. Right now, her alias in comics is Stinger, but she has been Ant-Girl and Giant Girl in the past and played some key roles in big Marvel Comics events. Anyway, a fight ensues at the pop-up lab, Hank reunites with Janet in the quantum realm, and her costume resembles its Avengers issue number 32 counterpart, where she was rescued from the microverse. She uses quantum particles, which helped her evolution over the years, to heal Ghost. So, does that mean Ghost will be back?
Who knows? Who
We'll
knows
see.
with Marvel?
This might be a little too tight of a tinfoil hat on my head, but as Hank traveled through the quantum realm, the bar which said time remaining was above buttons for A1, A2, A3, and A4, which definitely seems to be a play on time travel in the 4 Avengers movies. Maybe it's just me. In the end, Scott is freed from house arrest, Luis's ex-con security business is thriving, and everyone lived happily ever after. Yeah, right, don't forget Thanos snapped his fingers and wiped away half the universe in Avengers Infinity War. Cue up the post-credit scene. Scott heads back into the quantum realm to collect particles to keep healing Ghost, and while he was there, Hank, Janet, and Hope were all victims of Thanos' finger snap, leaving Scott stranded in the quantum realm for who knows how long. Of course, Janet's mention of time vortexes might indicate that he could get spit out in the past somehow to help thwart Thanos. The only problem is he doesn't know what Thanos did.
We like the idea of what it did for us tonally. in the movie. Yeah, and I also feel like it's a great juxtaposition, but also just it allowed us to really do our movie as a standalone movie.
And even though she disappeared, Evangeline Lilly is more than ready to come back as the Wasp, and we are ready to have her.
Now, the immediate question is, when do I get to do it again?
Did you catch any Easter eggs or references in Ant-Man and the Wasp? Drop them in the comment section below or send them my way on Twitter @BrandonDavisPD, and head over to Comicbook.com/Marvel for more.